of that is second nature to you? Do you still struggle with like conditioning, or did you ever struggle with conditioning?
It's never for like second nature. It's use it or lose it. You have to always do it. You don't do it, it's gone. It's use it or lose it. You have to be in shape. You have to work every day. Tired, not tired, who cares? You have to do it. There's no other way around it. That's the only way.
He's wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
Never Made Weight family, welcome back to the largest podcast in the world. Today we've got someone who's named the Iceberg, Artur Arutyunyan. Artur, how you doing today, man?
Good. Very good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. I heard they released the news about your new fight on March 21st. You're fighting Constrictor Cruz. Have you started?
Of course. I got like right after my fight, next Monday I was in the gym, I was training, and then I got the call. I was very happy that it's a title fight. So let's go. I'm excited.
It's at 125.
It's at 125.
It's at 125, but usually you fight at 35, right?
No, I fight at 25. It's just this last fight.
You fight
It was a short notice fight. The guy pulled out, so that's why it was at 135.
Got it. So I know you guys have multiple fighters in your gym around the same weight class. Are you and Pargiv are in the same weight class? How do you guys
Yes.
avoid each other in the matchmaking process? Do you guys have some kind of understanding between each other?
Obviously, we're never gonna fight. Like, we're teammates, we're friends, so we're just fighting. We want to get to the highest level and perform there.
You're already 6-1. You're also on a long win streak too. What point do you want to get to the big show? How many fights are you thinking until you start pondering the option of like knocking on that door?
I think couple more fights, and I'm there. But at this point, I don't even think about that. I'm just focused on my fight, March 21st. So once everything is said and done, then we'll move from there.
Your coach was saying great things about you last time in the back while you guys were warming up for the fight. He was saying you always make the right decisions. You're very calm, cool, and collected. Why do you think that is? Is that something that you've just built throughout the years, or does that come naturally to you?
That's experience. I was competing since I was 10, 11, kickboxing, boxing, and then I had an amateur career here, and now this is my eighth pro fight. So all of those fights like gave me the experience, and now it's regular. Like, fighting is regular. The hard thing is to make weight, to do the training camp, to work hard every day. That's the hard part. Fighting, after all of that, is easy.
I want to talk about the upcoming fight before we talk about you and your journey. Your opponent, Cruz, the Constrictor they call him. What's his biggest threat to you?
He's a tough fighter. He's a very tough fighter. I know he's gonna fight until the end, so I'm ready. I'm prepared for that, and I just cannot wait.
What do you think is there any part of his game that you're specifically training for, or is this kind of like a well-rounded fight camp you're having?
It's well-rounded fight champ, I would say. If he wants to strike, I'm ready to strike. If he wants to wrestle, grapple, I'm ready in all of the aspects. So whatever the fight goes, I feel like I'm gonna be pretty comfortable. But again, I know he's gonna be very tough. I know he's gonna come prepared physically, mentally. So I know it's gonna be very tough, but I'm prepared.
Who do you fight for, Arthur? Why do you fight?
Well, different reasons. I was doing this since I was 10, so it's part of my life already. And also, you know how life is, bills, this and that, and it's an opportunity for me now to make money also. So that plays a role, and also something inside of me. Like, I know I'm like, it's not forever, okay? Fighting is a short period of your life, like until 34, 35, and then it's gone. And then I'm sure I'm gonna miss it. So that's why I fight. So when I get older, I don't regret. I don't want to regret and be like, oh, I could have pushed maybe this, maybe that. So I want to fight, and so as I get older, so I don't have any regrets.
Yeah. Arthur, is it ever personal? Do you ever take real feelings into the octagon?
So far, no, but you know how fight game is. It can get personal very, very quick. So far, I haven't had any fight that felt personal, but you never know. Down the line, maybe some stupid trash talk and quickly becomes personal.
Yeah. You feel like you would be better in a competitive moment like that whenever somebody's trying to make it personal. You feel like you'll be able to not let that throw you off your game?
There's a fine line, okay? If somebody crossed that line, that's it. It's on. So I don't know how I'm gonna react at the moment, but again, if somebody crosses the line, that's it. Like it becomes personal.
I guess the answer I'm trying to get to is, do you fight better whenever it's personal?
Well, I've never been in a fight where it was like personal. Again, it was all like competition, all respect, martial arts. But I don't think that would bother me, you know? I think fight night is your skill against his skill, and cage is gonna show everything. No matter how much you talk before the fight. If you're better striking, if you're better wrestling, if you're better conditioning, you get in the cage, it's gonna show, you know?
Yeah, and most of the personalities in Up Next Fighting are they're great guys. Like we had Cruz do an interview with us at Media Day. He was really fun to talk to, a really good guy. So I don't think you're gonna run into a lot of those problems, in this promotion. Every now and then you'll get a bad egg, but I'm kind of thinking about the regular person on the street who says, if I get mad, I see red.
Yeah,
You know.
I know, I know.
So that's the image in my head. So I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, you know, uh, we've seen time and time again when fighters they get pissed. Sometimes that throws them off their game.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor was trying so hard to do that against Habib. So that's why I want to ask you if you ever been through that. But
No,
Arthur, I want to talk about how you got into that, how you got into fighting at 10 years old. Where were you born? When did you come to America?
I was born in Armenia, and when I was 10, my father took me to kickboxing so I can protect myself. And 6 months later, I started competing, winning tournaments, winning fights. And then at 13, for kickboxing, I also added boxing. I was competing in boxing too, also winning tournaments. And then at 17, I moved here to US. And then I met Karen through my friend Sam. He introduced me to grappling, and that's how it went. I fell in love with the sport, honestly, the grappling sport. It's just, I was a striker, but I went all in grappling. And me and Coach God has done a tremendous job in that aspect. He taught me grappling, and yeah, that's about it.
I love to see Coach Gordon do his thing. It seems everybody loves him, everybody respects him. And is it hard to keep a humble culture in the gym? Naturally, in this sport, it's a very aggressive sport. Everybody's trying to dominate each other. So to keep that humble vibe in the gym, do you ever find that you guys have trouble with that? Maybe it gets a little overly competitive.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Outside of the cage, everybody's humble, this and that. But when we're training, it's all good. We go super hard. Either it's sparring, either in grappling. Once the time is on, off, that's it. It's back to normal. But when we work, there's no fence. Basically, we push the limits.
You guys have a great team. You guys have a lot of strong guys close to the same weight classes, constantly training with each other. I think that's like something very special. You know what I mean?
Hell
You
yeah.
guys are deep. You guys are deep, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Whenever
Yep.
I see everybody says, oh, like the Killers train in Glendale, and I'm like, I come there Monday and Wednesday night for my own boxing, and it's hard to not watch sometimes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that that's the less intense practice because during the days the intense practice.
Yeah.
But
In the morning.
Arthur, whenever you came to America, did you ever want to go back to Armenia? Did you ever start not liking it here and miss your friends back home?
Of course, at the beginning, it was hard, but honestly, once I started the mixed martial arts journey, I was set. I was like, you know what? I want to stay here. I want to work hard, and I want to try to accomplish something big. So that's when that shift happened. At the beginning, it was hard. Of course, I wanted to go back, but once I got into the sport, I was like, all right, let's go.
Do you have someone in your life that has been nonstop at your back, helping you with everything, like preparation, whether it's your mom or dad or like a brother or sister?
There's so many people that helped me, my parents, my brothers, my coach, my teammates. Alone, again, you can do very little. So
Yeah.
I can't name one because it's a team effort. I feel their support, like my friends, my family, my teammates. of course, my coach, everybody. So it's a team effort. Everybody's like with me in this journey. I could feel their energy. I could feel their support, and it fills me. So
Yeah.
I can't mention a single person because there's so many people that are helped me, and are gonna help me that I can't name just one person.
Yeah. It's nice being Armenian. It's nice having a good family, right?
Yeah, of course, families first, brother. Family first, always.
When I look at you guys like you, Pargev, they're like the rest of the guys at the gym that are so like dedicated to their craft and working hard. It seems like you guys do everything in life right. What do you do wrong in life? What is your bad habit?
No, nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's where you learn. Though you make a mistake, you learn in any aspect of life. Could be training, it could be personal life, whatever. In any aspect of life, so nobody's perfect. We're definitely making mistakes, and we learn from it.
The iceberg. Who gave you that nickname?
Man, that's not my nickname. It's my camo profile. It's named Iceberg, and then Sherry Dog took it, Topology took it, and that's how it goes. But no, I don't have a nickname, brother. It's Artur Arutyunyan.
Just
I don't have a
Artur
nickname.
Arutyunyan.
Yes, no nickname yet.
You
That
don't
was my
want a
camo
nickname?
profile. That was my camo profile. Okay, and people took
Great.
it, and the Sherry Dog Topology is now like it's Artur the Iceberg Arutyunyan. So people think that is my nickname, but no, that is
Oh,
not my
but
nickname.
honestly, I like the nickname.
I know
I
everybody
like the
says it.
iceberg.
Everybody says it. Everybody says it. They like it, but I don't know. I'm not into nicknames, honestly.
What does being Armenian mean to you when you're fighting? Like, obviously, the Armenian MMA fans love their fighters. The support is crazy. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
pressure for you, bro? Or is that power for you?
I would say it's power. I wouldn't let it get to my head so it becomes pressure because then it's gonna affect my performance. It's definitely power. It's definitely fuel. And the Armenian community is big and strong here. We're together, and after the fights, I see the flags, I see the happy faces, and it makes me happy.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about UNF. What has UNF done for your career? Just in general, how do you feel about the company?
I think it's the best regional promoter, and it's getting bigger and bigger. It does everything for the fighters, the promotion, the fights, keeping you active, everything. Like they really do care about the fighters. Anytime you go to the media day or weigh-ins, everything is very professional. Everybody treats you with respect. So nothing but great vibes and just good people.
Arthur, who's the best fighter you've ever trained with?
That's a good question. Best fighter I ever trained with.
Yeah. Obviously not somebody your age.
Oh, I don't know, man. There's been so many fighters. Everybody is great. I can't,
Have the
again, I
other
can't.
Armenians come by? Have you trained with other Armenians from other places?
Let's say one of our teammates, Garland Minasyan, he came a year and a half ago. He's a beast, bro. He's a beast. Insane striking, very good jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, offense, defense. Garland is great. Garland Minasyan is a great fighter, and I hope he gets a fight soon.
Got it. Got it. But nobody like high profile. Have you ever trained with the other like Armenians? Like, I don't know, maybe Edmund,
No, the Edmund is a 85er.
Gerard.
Edmund is a 85er. Wait, we've never changed it. Okay. Yeah, but Musasi came. Musasi came years ago. Years ago he came, but I was injured, so I didn't move with him either. Who else? You said one name too. Who was the third guy? You named one. It was Musasi.
Tsarukyan.
No. I forgot, man.
What's the most underrated skill in MMA right now?
Conditioning, probably. Conditioning is very important, and you can't take it lightly. Once, I don't care how talented you are, your conditioning is gone, it's over. So you better be conditioned.
Sean Strickland recently, I think it was a week ago, he said conditioning comes from the brain, comes from the mind. What do you think about
100,
that?
100. I mean, if he means by like you have to fight smart, so you're efficient, you're making the right choices, so your opponent is like wasting more energy to get up or to get close to you. So like he does more work and he gets tired more. So if that's what he means, yeah. But if he means like it's mental, once you hit your lactic threshold and you can't recover from it, it's over. I don't care how mentally strong you are. Once your body is off, it's off. Your legs, your hands, once they're gone. I mean, the fighters, the guys that compete, then they know that feeling. Sometimes it goes wrong, maybe because of the weight cut or poor preparation. Sometimes your body just shut down. So it's conditioning is number one. I would say conditioning is number one. You have to be conditioned.
Yeah, like so many different things can happen in the middle of the scrap, like that
Uh,
can throw you off, that can make you exert more energy. A lot of times the energy is mental too, and then the breathing, all that has to be on point. How
yeah.
long did it take you to get to a place where all of that is second nature to you? Do you still struggle with like conditioning, or did you ever struggle with conditioning?
It's never like second nature. It's use it or lose it. You have to always do it. You don't do it, it's gone. It's use it or lose it. You have to be in shape. You have to work every day. Tired, not tired, who cares? You have to do it. There's no other way around it. That's the only way.
Who do you like to watch nowadays on TV fighting?
There's many great fighters, but I used to be a big fan of TJ Dillashaw style. His style was amazing. When it was time to wrestle, he was wrestling very well, and his striking was great too. Obviously, Dimitri Johnson, another well-rounded fighter, and I would say Max Holloway, also a great fighter, high volume, walking people down.
What's your prediction on Holloway and Oliveira March 7th?
I think Mac's gonna win. I don't know how either he's gonna finish him or he's just gonna keep it standing and beat him up for 5 rounds. But I feel like Max Holloway is gonna win this fight.
Whenever Max got knocked out against Topuria, I felt like the punch came from an angle where no one gets that angle on Max Holloway. It's almost like, Topuria is really good at getting in fast. You don't realize how fast he gets in, and he throws those heavy combinations, like 4 or 5 punch combinations. How would you deal with somebody like Topuria's fighting style? Heavy boxer, gets in quick, great angles. How would you deal with that?
I think you have to wrestle him. Of course, it's very easy to say that, but I think that's what you have to do. He's kind of heavy on his front foot, so just drill nonstop high level wrestling on that head outside single, and try to get him down, try to make him tired. Third, fourth round, where his hands are not as dangerous because he's weighed out. That's where you can beat him. But before that, you have to fight a perfect fight so he doesn't land clean punches because he got that beautiful placed punch. Once he placed it, it's over. So wrestle. You have to wrestle him. That's the only way. I think it's gonna be very hard to outbox him or outkick him. I think wrestling. You have to wrestle him, and I think Arman can do it. If there's one guy that can beat Tapuya, Islam obviously moved up. I think it's him.
Yeah, I agree. We're dying to see that fight. Arthur, I know this might sound like a stupid question, bro, but I've been recently seeing a lot of teams have been using AI, like ChatGPT and stuff, to help come up with game plans and fix certain problems in fight camps. Your team, you personal, how do you feel about that? Is
I
that
mean,
something that you would do?
maybe just for fun. Maybe I'm bored. I would like let me ask this question to ChatGPT. Maybe like that, but not really. No, we've been in the game. You watch your opponent's tape. You approximately know what he's gonna do, what he's not gonna do, where he's good at, where he's bad at, and you just work on that. It's honestly not like rocket science that you need to use ChatGPT, this and that. You just have to show up, work hard, train hard, and fight night. Just take the fight where you're better than your opponent.
Is studying tape important to you? Is that something that you make sure that you do thoroughly?
Yes, of course, because it's the data, okay? Tape never lies. So if you see that he drops his left hand 5 fights back to back after he throws his right hand, then you know it's there. So you drill on there, and then when fight times come, his hand is dropping and your body's reacting properly because you've seen it, you've drilled it, and now you just do it under the bright lights.
I love that. I love that. I love fight science. You know what I mean? The
Oh
the
yeah, oh
inside, the
yeah. It's a lot.
how
A
how
lot
to
of it. A
fight.
lot of it is smarts. A lot of fight is all over here. The game planning and the preparation for the game plan. Okay, because you can have a game plan, but you don't during your fight camp. You don't work on that game plan. And then it's not gonna work in the fight. You have to specifically drill exactly what you've seen, what you're gonna do. Try it in sparring. Fail. Try it again. See why you fail. Adjust, and then fight time. Now you're ready to execute it.
Because I've seen a lot of actually, it's been a couple times that I've heard a fighter say like, "Oh, I didn't even watch any tape for this fight. I just went in." And my thing is like, at this level, people are so good at MMA nowadays. It's not like it was 15 years ago.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
everyone is more well rounded nowadays. Growing up, those fights, like I don't know, like your first kickboxing fight or your first like few boxing fights, amateur, this, that. It's okay to not watch tape because oftentimes there's no tape on the other guy and you just go in there and you fight. You know, you go in there and you fight. But at this level, when you go pro, people are just too good nowadays. It's really a chess match.
Yeah,
Obviously, if you know that your wrestling is so much better than these guys, you can just go for the wrestling. But at the end of the day, you know, the level is advanced now,
yeah,
and fight science, in my opinion, has a lot to do with it. You know, I feel like a lot of people are also stuck in their old ways. You know, in every industry, there's the people who like to do it how they used to do
everybody.
it,
Yeah,
and there's new brains.
yeah. Everybody's different, you know. For some people, it's only sparring. For some people, it's only wrestling. So whatever works, they do that, you know.
Arthur, what do you do for fun? What do you do on your own time?
I mean, training is pretty fun for me. Grappling, I don't know, playing football with my friends. You know, just going out, watching fights, those kind of things. You know, gathering together with family, with friends. That's the fun time. Having a good food
You
after
said
a
you have
good weight
brothers?
class. Yes, I have brothers.
How many?
Here, I have 3 brothers.
You have 3 brothers. You guys are 4 brothers here?
Well, I have one older brother. No, actually, 2 older brothers, one younger brother. So yeah,
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing. We're 3 brothers too.
Let's
It's a
go.
different vibe, right?
Yeah, yeah,
When you have
definitely.
brothers.
100% is different vibe.
Arthur, you want to leave anything with your supporters, your fans?
Just big thank you, you know, motivates me. I work very hard to make them happy, to not disappoint them, you know. So there's only good things.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time and doing the show with us, bro.
Thank you for having me, brother. Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you for watching Never Made Weight, the largest podcast in the world. Artur Arutyunyan, don't call him the iceberg. He has no nickname. Artur Arutyunyan. March 21st, Fighting Constrictor Cruise. Tune in. Commerce Casino, right?
Yes, sir. Commerce Casino, March 21.
I'll see you guys there. I'm your host, Sped. Thank you very much. Hey.
Wearing a T-shirt that says "Never Made."
I believe him. I think he's telling the